in the region, where for the first time since Russia used Belarus to enter Ukraine, US military officers observed the joint Zapad 2025 war games between Russia and Belarus. This marks a shift as Washington seeks warmer ties with Belarus amid heightened regional tensions after Poland shot down Russian drones crossing its airspace. The war games involved fighter jets, drones, helicopters and infantry drills, showcasing combat readiness. Belarus has long been a close Russian ally, allowing Russian troops and tactical nuclear weapons on its soil. Recently, Trump's administration moved to reopen the US embassy in Belarus and lifted sanctions on Belarus's national airline after President Lukashenko freed political prisoners. US officers met with Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Kurachkinkov during the exercises, which included observers from 23 countries, including NATO members and China. This visit signals potential diplomatic efforts to influence Belarus amid the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Now we move over to the United States, where US President Donald Trump has announced plans to sue the New York Times for $15 billion, accusing the newspaper of defamation and libel. In a post on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump criticized the paper for its coverage, particularly its endorsement of Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. He claimed the Times has been a mouthpiece for the radical left and vowed to take legal action from Florida, a Republican stronghold. This isn't the first time Trump has targeted the paper. Previous lawsuits against the Times, including one over his tax records, have been dismissed. Trump's latest legal battle is a continuation of his ongoing feud with what he describes as left-leaning media outlets. We're now joined by Major General G.D. Dwivedi. He's a global strategic expert and he joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General, for joining us here on the program. Major General, does Donald Trump have any standing here when he moves to sue a quote-unquote radical left-leaning media outlet for an endorsement of an opponent in an election campaign?
Well, Thomas, as far as President Trump is concerned, he goes by his own perceptions, and his perception is that the left-right media has been inimical to his reputation and interest, and therefore he has quoted the writings of New York Times and also an editorial where they have carried the piece that Donald Trump is unfit to hold the office of presidency. And also the Penguin Group, they published a book, Lucky Loser, how Donald Trump squandered his father's fortune and created illusion of success. So therefore, I think President Trump has decided to take on the New York Times, and particularly he feels that the paper have been very pro Kamala Harris during the last election in 2024. So therefore, I think President Trump is going ahead with what his perceptions are, and he has planned to sue the New York Times for $50 billion. And but as you rightly said, that his two previous defamation cases were dismissed. So let's see where does this case go, and we'll have to wait and watch, Thomas.
Yes, Major General Dwivedi, do stay with us as we stay in the United States for our next story, where thousands gathered at Arizona State University on Monday night to honor Charlie Kirk, the conservative